Well, hey everybody, it's your old pal Tim, doing monthly guitar lessons, and I figured I would jump in on Blessed Assurance, and I love this song. It speaks to me, the words and the music. Man, it really gets me focused on God, and it gets me focused on God's promises. And like a lot of times when I'm playing live, I get a little bit wrapped up in my own head, and you know what happens when you get too far into your own head. You get a little nervous, and pretty soon you're thinking it's more about you than it is about God and for the people who need to hear it. So we're going to start off this lesson with a little tidbit of saying, always play for God. Always play for God. God loves what you do. You can't go wrong. And remember, it's to glorify His name. So try to get yourself out of the picture. And I know that's easier said than done. I'm right there with you, But that's why I open with this song every time I play, because it gets me into that God place where I like to be, because it's about faith, and it's about that unwavering promise and that unshakable certainty that Jesus is mine. So anyway, what I wanted to do today was hit upon this. Probably be a little bit longer than the average lesson. I'm going to try to only do about 45 minutes. But I'm going to explain a little bit of my techniques, and we're using an alternate tuning. You may have figured that out if you watched the video. If you haven't seen the video, that was a clip of it at the very beginning, and you can check it out at Timothy Mark Price on YouTube. That's my channel, and I will be putting new songs up every month and an accompanying lesson to go with it. So, got a cup of coffee. That's good. With tons of creamer. I'm going to start with a little bit of technique. First off, I am primarily a fingerstyle player. I play a little bit with a flat pick, but I feel I'm a little bit more fluent with the thumb pick. I play banjo, I play dobro. I play all those instruments where you're using a lot of your fingers. I have acrylic nails. They're a little bit long right now. I have to get them shaved down. Yep, I go to the salon every month, put out my hand and get my nails done. And you want to hear the kicker? I've been doing it for almost 20 years. So it's always been kind of fun to go in and do that. So I do. On my four fingers here, I have acrylic. That, to me, it kind of creates four picks, And this particular arrangement of Blessed Assurance, I'm doing an open D tuning. As I get older, I'm loving more the openness and sometimes each key has its own flavor, and I just love D. Listen to that. That's D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. D. There it is. So, I do a lot of stuff in open D. I also do a lot of stuff in open E, but I don't tune my guitar to open E. I use a capo, I don't know if you've ever heard that Little Martha. Of course, that's the great Dwayne Allman. So, you can hear that rise in there. You can hear it just bringing it up to E. Obviously, you're going up and it's uplifting, but big difference between D and E. And I go back and forth between these keys a lot. When I perform live, I have a standard tuned guitar, and then I have my open D tuned guitar. And I also, I feel the slinkiness of the open tunes enables me to get more of my that's all open. That's open E, but I'm tuned to D. And another thing that's kind of cool with the open tuning is, you can get some great blues stuff. When I play dobro, I love the open sound of that and how easy it is to do a 1-4-5. That's an open chord, so 4. Richie Havens, he did everything like this. So that's one finger and one finger. So, it's just really cool. And you can, there's only 1/3 in this tuning. And you may know that a third will determine if your chord is major or minor. I'm gathering most of you all know that. But if you didn't know, the F sharp is the third in the key of D. And if I simply take this F sharp and tune it down to F, now I've got that F sharp, right hand technique. I want Jesus to walk with me. See, you get that real swampy bluesy. That's open D minor. So that's just a little bit about my technique. I play with a Fred Kelly speed pick. I love them. It almost looks offensive. So it's the orange one. And don't get the wrong idea. It's just a guitar pick, but it does kind of look a little offensive. So I like the cut. Not necessarily, because honestly, I like doing, if I do a speed tremolo pick, I find it easier to use a regular Fred Kelly thumb pick with which is called, this is the speed pick, and this thumb pick is the I find it easier with the regular Fred Kelly pick. For that kind of as opposed to the speed pick with the divots. See, it's a little bit harder for me to do that. And I'll switch back and forth, but all around the tone of this pick is a little bit brighter. Those little gaps right in here, and just maybe the size of the just the little edge that's right there, it just gives me a brighter tone that I like moreover. And 95% of my acoustic playing is with this kind of pick, the Fred Kelly speed pick. So, okay, so we're about 10 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten to the song yet, but we talked about, let's sum up what we talked about in 10 minutes. We talked about the amazing song Blessed Assurance and the impact that it has on us as not only musicians but but people of faith and its assurance and what it means. That's real important. That's important stuff, you know. And then we talked about that I use acrylic nails. 1, 2, 3, 4. I primarily play with a banjo technique. If you look at a lot of backwards rolls, which is thumb, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, or thumb, middle, index, P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M, I. And if you kind of crank up the speed, add a little hammer onto it. We're still in D minor. We talked about the alternate tuning, speaking of that, because I'm playing in open D major, but then we tuned up to E with a capo, just going on the 2nd fret, and then I dropped down to D minor by changing one string, which is the 3rd string, or in standard tuning, the G string, which is now tuned to an F, but I'm going to tune back up. Going to tune back up to that F sharp. So now we're back in D major. So that's a little recap of what we've gone over. So now we're going to get a couple techniques out of this song too. So here we are, we're at 11 minutes in, and we're going to start getting into the song. Starts off with harmonics. So, and the harmonics are on the 7th fret, and all I'm doing is doing D. Well, it's a different tuning, so we're doing the 7th fret of the 4th, or the, I'll just say what they are, D, G, B. But I go, so in the open tuning, it's F sharp, A, and E. So, and it's, the pattern is this. So just 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first note is that harmonic on the 7th fret of our D string, which is still tuned to D. It worked out. So watch this. And it's just an arpeggiated open chord. And it's pretty simple. And then I go to the 5th fret of the D string, and I'm doing the same pattern. Right? And then I go to the G string, which is now tuned to the F sharp, and I do the harmonic there. But since I've run out of strings, I got that pattern off of 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. And I played in 6/8, by the way. I've seen some versions in 6/4, and I think it's most common in 9/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2. But I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So harmonic. Harmonic on the G string, but since I only have 3 strings there, I have to make up for it and go. So I go on the D string. So I'm doing a hammer-on from the 4th to the 5th fret. So watch that. Harmonic on the G. And that, again, that hammer-on is on the D string from the 4th to the 5th. So I go. Damu, high E, open D. And again, excuse me if I say the standard tuning strings. And I think it might even be a little bit easier to follow along, especially if you're not used to doing a open tuning. So here's the intro. I let it breathe. And then I come in with the melody, and the melody is going to be on the high E string on the 4th fret. And then on the 7th fret of the B string, open strings. I love open strings. So we get this. Figaro, Figaro. But I go. See, then you got that big, majestic open D. And that's all I'm doing. It's just a whole open D. That's one of the benefits of tuning to an open chord. Hear that? 4, 7, 0. Now I'm going to throw in my bass line, which is kind of like. And what that does is that helps carry the song along. You know, and you can do any kind of fingerstyle arrangement you want. Sometimes they're more rubato, more free flowing. You know, but this one cooks. This one stays in time. And to do that, you know, you kind of, you know, it's like when you do, you know. We got that bass keeping it going. And of course, that's a Chet Atkins, Merle Travis, boom chick kind of thing, as Tommy calls it. But you can hear how the bass is. If I just went, you know, it sounds like Mel Bay Book 1. But I put that bass note in there. It's a whole new animal, isn't it? Wait. Here's to you. French vanilla creamer. It's great on a cold Minnesota day. That's where I am. I'm in a little town south of Minneapolis called New Prague. Okay, we're 17 minutes in. I'm keeping tab. I want to honor your time. Okay, so we have the beginning. That goes. Pick up notes. In. Now this is an easy picking pattern. I strum. And I hit the low E. See how I'm doing that? And that's kind of the pattern throughout. I go, love those backwards rolls. So that's my ring finger, middle finger, index. Hear that? Now I'm going to put that bass note in there I was talking to you about. And all I do is I arpeggiate it. If you don't know what arpeggio or arpeggiate means, that means you take a chord and instead of playing it harmonically, you play it melodically. So instead of going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same chord, but now it's melodic, it's arpeggiating the chord. That's what arpeggio means. Now I'm going to put that bass note in there. So I go. So I go, and I'm on the 4th fret of the low D, low E. And I'm just riding the strings. I'm going G, B, E, B, G. See that? Open. See that's kind of the melody throughout, or excuse me, the rhythm throughout. So there's a combination of melody, which is right, and we need to hear that, and then you got the get that bass in there. And then we have the chords that are kind of going on around the melody. And like I explained in the last lesson, whenever you're playing a chord, and you can pick the melody out, if you're staying within the chord, and the chord is part of what the melody is doing. In other words, if I have this D and my melody is, right? Not only can I use the bass note, but I can use the other notes of the chord. Now, they're not part of the melody and they're not part of the bass, but aren't they adding a lot? Listen to the difference. Big difference, right? Tab doesn't always show you that. A lot of times tab will show you the highlighted notes. They'll show you the bass and they'll show you the melody note. But remember, and that's I talked about in the last lesson too, it's always good to know what chords are going on underneath your melody. So you understand what you're playing. You start to see different chord progressions that are used over and over. And this is kind of a 1-4-5 progression. And like I said, these lessons are for intermediate and up. So you should know what a 1-4-5 progression is. And if you don't, it's going to increase your playing 100-fold by knowing what is a 1-4-5 progression. Well, it's probably one of the most popular progressions in pop, country, contemporary Christian, a lot of hymns. It's going, like if you're playing your acoustic in standard tuning, G, C, D. How many songs can you play in G, C, D? About 60 million. And those are just Eagles songs. So knowing that kind of stuff is really good. And then you start to see the melodies that are going on underneath the chords. And it also gives you soloing ideas too. So it's really important to know what's happening underneath you whenever possible, and that also opens up improv skills too. So back to this. Now I'm going to which is the fifth. Remember, here's the 1, here's the 4, here's the 5th. And what I do is I put the 5th in the bass, and then I bar, which is essentially a G chord, and it has that A in the bass. So now you got a slash chord going on. You ever look at music and you see a chord that says like G/B, right? A slash chord is simply the chord with a different bass note in it. That's all it is. And a lot of times you can get by without even playing the slash chord. But they sound really cool, and they open up, from this chord turns to this. You can hear that. A lot of slash chords in gospel, and just remember the chord is the first part, the switched bass note is the second part. G chord / B, different root note, okay? So I go strum down, and then I take my my third finger and my pinky, and I go to the 7th and 9th fret. Dude. So there's that big mighty open D. One finger. So here we go again. Change the bass a little bit. And that's on the 4th fret of the A string. Back to the 4th string of the low D string. So it goes. And see that? Always going. Now I do a little embellishing on this because what a foretaste of glory divine. So I go up to that same big note, hit one note, big chord. There's my melody. Oh what a, oh what a. Now I'm going to put a couple more harmonics in there. So I hit the low D and the high D at the same time. See that? So I'm plucking with my my thumb on the low D, and then I'm pulling up on the top three. I do this a lot where I use my thumb and these three fingers. That's kind of a constant. That's part of my technique. I do it when I don't even know I'm doing it. It's just how I play. And when I do a chord, I usually don't do this. I usually always put a slight roll on it. So it's not, can you hear the difference? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it's just what I do. Now I'm going to ride those harmonics. G, B, G on the 12th fret. Now I'm going to walk it down a half step from the 12th. Well, the harmonic on the 12th fret is that D note, E in standard tuning. And if I walk down, it'd be. But I use a harmonic on the first one, so it's 11, 10. And then that's on the 9th fret, 9 of the high D, 9th of the A string, and then on the 11th fret. Bear in mind, I'm trying to use the open tuning notes for these strings. But you know, I think you'll get the idea regardless. Right? Now I'm going to come down and do, it's kind of a turnaround. And I like this. I'm going to the 7th fret and I'm putting my pinky on the 7th fret of the high D string. See that? And then I'm putting my 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the F sharp or the G string, and I leave that A open. Listen to that. And then I create a bass line. So I do the open A to the D string, and put it together. There's that arpeggio again. See? Look around you. Look over here. There's a Little River Band. That's who that is. So, but that's just a quick little turnaround I put in there. Back to the melody. Same thing, you already know this. Now let's wrap it up. So I'm going from the 5th fret of the B string, whatever. Next time I think I'm just going to use the numbers of the strings. So here, we're on the 2nd string. 5, 7 to the 1st string, 4th fret. And then I do the chord thing with my 3 fingers. Then I do that A bass G again, which is my first finger barred on the 5th fret, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string with that open A. Now this is a little tricky chord. And I'm getting up, it's a G sharp in the bass. And then we have another G sharp here. And then we have a B here. So we got a G sharp with a B, so it's kind of a minor. And then we've got an E right here. I am not, admittedly, as fast with building my chords on an open tune guitar. I'm getting there. I've got to think more about the notes because the open tuning is different for me now. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And I've been playing standard tuning for Stone Age. So we get good passing chord. And then same chord. And then so that here's that G A bit in the bass, and I grab that 7th fret of the 2nd string, 4th same string, 4th fret, and then it wants to resolve back to the beginning, and I just repeat the beginning. Okay, so I want to get in. We're at 32 minutes, and I want to keep this no longer than 45 minutes. Thank you for tuning in, but I also want to say I have the music for this. I have notation and tab and the chords, and I'm happy to give that to you for free if you email me. Just email me at faithrecoverymusic@gmail.com and tell me that you would like a copy of it, and I'll send you the PDFs. I handwrite them, so they're legible though. You can read them. And it's notes, and it's notation and tab, and the chords. But I would want to ask you, because my calling is that I go all over the country and I bring music to men and women who are struggling with addiction. I myself am coming up on 30 years clean and sober, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. And God has, I feel in my heart, called me to go visit these places, play music, use music to soothe and to help and to inspire, and also give the testimony of my years struggling with addiction. And so if you can see it in your heart to donate to this ministry, that would be awesome. It keeps us going. We do this for free. We go to churches, recovery organizations, reentry programs, treatment centers, wherever else God sends us. And we go in and I do these presentations with words and music for free. Sometimes we get a love offering. That's great. Sometimes they pass the basket, and that's great. It all goes right back into the kitty, and all that does is enables us to go to the next place. So if you can, look into your heart, and you can visit us at faithrecoverymusic.com. That's www.faithrecoverymusic.com. And right on the first page, there's a little donate option. Please look into your heart and and help us out. Help us so we can keep helping others. All right, back to the lesson. All right. I put my glasses on. It's like I stepped aside or something, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to add just the other parts in the next 10 minutes. You basically have the meat of the song, and you could play it. But there's some cool stuff that's kind of cool. There's some stuff that's kind of cool that lets you embellish the song so you're not completely repeating the same thing over and over. You know, Chet always would like take a song, and every time he would play the main part of the song or the chorus, if you look at a lead sheet like in a real book, they'll call the whole song a chorus. He wants to make it different every time. He wants to embellish it so you're not hearing the same thing over and over. And that's kind of what we kind of do, so, or what I kind of do on this. So the second verse starts. Same. Now we're going to change it, and it's pretty easy. So open. I hit the low D, and then I hit the second, third, and fourth strings. Oh, what a. So it's basically an octave lower. Oh, what a. See, you can do that. You don't even have to have your left hand on. I, Tim Price, promise you that you can do this part with one hand. So watch. Now I'm gonna have to put my hand back on, and what I do is it's another A bass, and we've got an F sharp in there, same as this, and we've got an A, and then we have that C sharp on top. So the shape is almost like it's like a D7. You know, I always think of D chords as a triangle. You know, you got your 3 points on a standard tuned guitar. And if you do it backwards, that's that D7 shape. But here we're doing on we're on the 4th fret, starting on the 4th string, the D. That's the chord. And I slide into it. There's that arpeggio again. Right? Now I'm taking the triad. I'm taking F sharp, A, and B. Those are the notes. It's kind of cool. So all together. I'm sorry. Now I'm doing the open D, and I've got that B in the bass, so that's on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So on single notes, but they're single notes. But if I put the rest of the chord in there, oh, sorry, that was ugly. Hear that? Again, it's the difference between this or, and we definitely want the fuller sound. Right, and then from here, I slide my first finger up, and that's going up to an A, and then we got a C sharp here, and then that open D. That really. So look at the form here, 3rd fret, and then on the and I'm using my 3rd finger here, and then on the 4th fret of the second string, and then open of the first string. So it's hitting that D again. It's the same thing that we were kind of doing here. But again, we're embellishing it. We're changing it up. Still has that. But now it's instead of it's this. Then it runs through that again, and then we come to the kind of the big part. And what I'm doing is I'm going up to that infamous 7th fret, but I want to add a little more oomph to it. So I'm on the 7th fret here, and then I'm on the 9th fret here, which is another F sharp. So we've got an A, we've got an F sharp, and then here we've got a D. I'm going up to there. This is my story. This is my story. Back to that. And I kind of strum that a little bit because I want to really inject the majesty of that. This is our story, you know. This is our story about how God has done so much for us in our lives, our recoveries, and how his assurance is, again, that sacred confidence and that we're born in his spirit and washed in the blood, you know, and that calls for majesty. Actually, I go. And that's the same thing we did in the last verse. So that's that. So it goes. And then I do like we did at the beginning. So, and I go over the parts that we've already done. I go through them just a little bit quicker because we discussed them. So starting at the top of this. See that? That's what we talked about. And then go back to this A over G. Big open chord, and then I do that's an open D, then I do a D sus. So that's the first fret of the 3rd string. Now watch this hand. I do that move a lot. Remember we talked about that at the very beginning? Strong note followed by the arpeggio. Now watch this. And then we're back to the I promise part where I don't have to have any hands on. So it goes. Okay, now we're repeating stuff. So, and then we play that out, and then we come to the end, which is a repeat of the harmonics at the intro. And then the last few notes, we cap it off with more harmonics, 7th fret, starting on the 4th string. So I have thumb, index, middle, 4, 3, 2. Oops. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7th fret, 5th fret. I think we did it, gang. I think we're maybe about a minute or two over, but if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section or send me a message or whatever. I love sharing music, and I especially love sharing great hymns and songs through music. And man, I'm just blessed to get to do it, and I love to get to do it. And if I can help you in any way, I love being of service too. So, dear God, thank you that we could gather and we could learn and play music in your name to glorify your name and help us to use this as ways of reaching out to people, because some people really respond to music. And you know, Lord, when we play this stuff and they hear it and it moves them, you're using us as a vessel to spread the good news of your Son, Jesus Christ. And for that, we are blessed and we are honored, and we will do the best we can. But we're doing it for you, God. It's not about us. We're checking our egos at the door, and we're going to do a good job, and we're going to play good, but we're doing it to honor you and to show people that you are a God of power, a God of quality, a God of majesty. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Talk soon. God bless.